Yo, yo. Just wanted to do a little update on my post-panel hearing, which wasn't even a panel hearing. I had 495 grievances that they were refusing to pay because a few reasons, but one of the reasons is that we got a lot of guys taking half off and discounts on these 95 grievances. We shouldn't be doing that. That leaves room for the company to harass the guys that won't take less than what the contract awards you for a 9.5. So if you're going to file a 9.5, don't take a discount. You're selling yourself and other members short, and it's just like overtime. 9.5s are, the language sucks right now. It was not improved, and I'll get into that in another video because I want to try to work on something here in the next year with the members at the Westchester building. But not to get off track, yeah, we shouldn't be taking the discounts on 9.5s. It's just like overtime. It's clock time. They don't discount your overtime when you work over 8, and they shouldn't be allowed to discount your 9.5 grievances, because what they'll do is they try to make up petty stuff like you're stealing time, and I've been down that road. I know exactly what that means. It's some made up bullshit that they circulate back a year later, and try to stick you on something that I can't even remember what I ate last week for breakfast on last Tuesday, let alone a year ago. They want to throw some big packet at you and say, well, and they have all this stuff made up to fit their agenda of the stealing time, and it's just not true. And the best thing a union member can do when they enforce the contract onto the company, like the 9.5 language, is to document and take special notes. Be very careful in what you do. You always do the right thing. That way they can't catch you on the easy stuff like cheating. And luckily for me, in this certain circumstance, this morning, we had a little round table meeting. It was an official panel meeting because they were going to pay them. They're 9.5 grievances. The bathroom break one got delayed. They can't figure out if I can take a piss real quick or not yet. But we figured out the 9.5 grievances, and they had this big packet. Like I said, you're stealing time, and I document pretty well now. And I said, well, what date is this? And he goes, May 5th. And I go, of 2025? He's like, yeah. And he's like, he had all this stuff written out about how I was detouring or doing extra miles and driving past stops without delivering them. And there's reasonable excuses for all that stuff. We don't do 100% trace. We don't even do, I don't think, 70% trace. You got to break off for errors. And I've argued this. We all know this. But luckily, I take screenshots and pictures and I document. And I pulled up my little phone that day. I go, okay, let me look into my phone and see what I got from that day. Because if there's something like out of the ordinary, I usually document it, screenshots and stuff like that, pictures. So the first thing I see on my little iPhone scrolling up, and I go to May 5th, and I see this in my pictures. Little road closed sign. Taken at 10:05 in the morning. 10:14 in the morning. Gotta be specific. It's great to have timestamps too. And this is where I pulled up down, the route itself. I have like 10 photos that day because I knew it was a bad day. It was, I forget it. I don't think it was a Monday, but it looked like a Monday. They had me starting, I don't know if you can see this, but they had me starting all the way up out of my area for one stop and then coming all the way down. There was errors. And then look at this little jet lag up here. It was like just a random, nobody's delivering this. Like, why is this on me? Why is this dispatched to me like that? Like, the tighter the routes, the better it should be. Why is there this freaking exit route? They're going all the way up, and I got to go up there early because I don't want to be up there at night. I also saw on the time card that I clocked out that day at 8. And yeah, I had all this stuff documented. Look, screenshots for the detour. That's how long it was going to take. 8 minutes just to circle back to like where I should have been started when the stop was like right here, but because of a road closure, I had to do that. This little thing on the map that goes all the way, squiggles all the way up. Got to go up and do that. got to come back down. And yeah, I also didn't have any service. They had me go on the 109 Springdale Road or something. And yeah, the board crashed, and so did my maps. So I don't know the Coatesville stuff, so I was having to rely on maps, and I screenshotted that day and saved it. You know, I had no service, so I was kind of winging it. And there's just a bunch of reasons. Yeah, it was a bad day. I'll tell you what. Look at this one. So this was a screenshot. I was like doing Cochranville, but I was up in Coatesville, and there's like a bridge out and a road, and the way the stops, they had me doing like stops on the other side of the bridge, which was already way off my route. So I had to do this big, like this literally says 11-minute drive to get around to do this stop and then circle back and come all the way back down to my route to finish that up. So they set you up for failure, and then they come at you a year later and they say you're stealing time. That's exactly what happened to me when I went to panel a few years ago. That was just a big rug pull as well. But I wasn't as documented, and there wasn't as much heat on me. But that's the kind of stuff that you got to do. You got to be prepared as a union member when you enforce the contract. You got to do the right thing. You can't let them catch you doing the lazy stuff, cheating, which a lot of guys do to get in. And you can't, you got to make sure that you dot your I's, cross your T's. And because of that, we're in this meeting, this little roundtable meeting, and I stopped him dead in his tracks with his accusations of stealing time. Even the labor manager was looking at me, and Bonaducci was over there smirking. Because, it's like, what did you do a year and 4 weeks ago on May 5th? And, most people you're like, I don't fucking know. And I've told them, if there's problems, just come to me the next day. And I'll be able to more accurately than a year and a half from now, describe what happened. If there was a bridge out, if there was the dispatch was horrible and you set me up for failure in the first place, and the errors were all over the place, and then I didn't have service and the board crashed. There's a million things that can happen, and then they broad stroke and say you're stealing time. And I just want the members to be aware of what they can do, and you shouldn't be scared of that, because at the end of the day, it's really a lazy. It's a lazy accusation. There's a lot of holes that you can poke in their allegations, and that's just what comes with this job a lot of times. And I know a lot of guys are like, well, I just want to stay off the radar. I don't want the heat, and that's fine. But we work in a union. We are unionists, and you shouldn't do anything detrimental to other union members that do want to enforce the contract and stand up against this stuff, because what I want to do is kind of pave the way a little bit and get members more confident in going in and saying, I'm not taking a discount on a 9. I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world. I don't know why that's even a thing, these discounts, these yard sales. I've been bitching about it forever. I knew that it was going to come. I'm taking a lot of heat for it now. They do pay them out, but just being me, being a voice and in the center, it's I know they're gonna make it hard on me, and that's fine, because I like it like that. It makes you stronger, calluses you, but I want to be able to pave the way to have these discounts being done with. 9.5's a 9.5. If you file it, take the full amount. If not, tell them that you'll wait. And then if they get everybody filing 9.5's and not taking discounts to pay you out, labor's going to be flooded with these grievances. And then if they want a docker for panel, man, we could have 30 guys down there at panel. And eventually they'll just stop. They'll stop doing it, trying to cheat you out of your money, your hard-earned money. Because it's not even about the money; it's about getting in. And they're blatantly not getting guys in right now. So just take advantage of the 9.5 language. Sign up, follow my lead. It'll be fine. I'll take the heat and I'll pave the way, and then make it easier for guys below me to not have to sell themselves short. And then also, I didn't mean to make this a long video, but I wanted to address, so I had 6 grievances. You can cut out now if you don't want to hear the next part. Sorry about I know I ramble, but I had 6 grievances last year. the sixth one should have been paid at quad time. And I don't want to like point fingers. I don't want to approach this as like, you know, these guys aren't doing their job, the local and stuff like that. I just want to like maybe work together to move forward and get what is owed to us in this new contract, which is this quad pay after anything paid after 5. There has to be an elevated meeting after 5. Now, what happened with me is they just denied these grievances, waited a year, and now I'm out of that calendar year. This language reads that it has to be within a calendar year. That's not how it should be done. That's not how it should work. We should have the members keeping track of their 9.5s after you're paid. After you're paid more than 4 is what the language says. You are due an elevated meeting where they will discuss and try to work out what's wrong with your route, which we know what's wrong with the route. They're over dispatching you. And after that meeting, that has to take place within 45 days when you request it, they can decide to award quadruple time, right? Just like they can decide to award even the triple time for 9.5. That's decided to award, but they do it. And our local has not achieved that with its members yet. This new language, we have not, as far as I know, nobody's gotten quad time. I'm about 100% positive. Nobody's had this elevated meeting. There's excuses like the labor manager was out. They didn't have a labor manager. Well, that's UPS's fault. Like, that's not our fault. And you know, the whole like, well, they just try to like make it seem like from the union side that, you know, you have to have this meeting, and then it's like, all right, well, let's solve that problem. Let's have the meetings. Let's get together, and after your fifth, after you're paid more than 4, your fifth 9.5 when you're paid, request this meeting and put some pressure on our union to have these meetings, because it is happening in other locals. Local 651 has 30 guys already signed up this year that went through this elevated meeting and are available and are getting quad time for any further 9.5 violations. 804, they've already got, I think, almost 30 guys already at the elevated meeting status, already approved for quad time. Local 384, we have no guys that have gotten quad time last year, and nobody set up to do this year. And I want that to change. I want us to put a little pressure on the union, whoever your business agents are, that if you're at that fifth one, and the delaying of the 9.5s also doesn't help. That's a whole other story. I know they're taking them out of chronological order. I've already had a problem with this in the past. Hopefully we can, again, rectify this, but they're taking guys in that filed a grievance 2 weeks ago, paying them for them, and I have a grievance that's a month out, and they're not bringing me in. That's not how it works. For shop stewards, the center manager doesn't decide what grievance to hear. It's an unfair labor practice. You, as a shop steward, say these are the dates. We take the oldest last. If they don't want to hear them, then you write denied and you give it to Matt Connor or a business agent, and then follow the steps. And that's why we can progress these grievances a little faster, because they're being sloppy and they're delaying them, and we need to get to that meeting because they're giving us the work to get to that meeting, and that's the way to do it. And hopefully we can figure that out within our center. It would be nice. A lot of other locals are way far ahead of us on this language. They have their shit down. They got, shop stewards that file the grievance in order, and then it goes right to the business agent. The business agent, if it's denied, goes to labor. If it's denied labor, it goes to the panel. We're not screwing around with these things, and we're getting up to this elevated meeting status because everybody's working freaking all night, all day, every day, and they're getting these elevated meetings and then getting approved for quad time, and we are not. And I want that. I want us to get there. And I'm not trying to throw shots at anybody, because that doesn't work when you throw mud. I'm just saying there's a problem in the local and we need to fix it. And maybe I can address it at the meeting. There's the last one in May coming up. I was in New York for the last meeting, and maybe I can talk, and I'm not trying to be like hateful or point fingers, because that didn't get us anywhere. But we do have a problem with this new language in the contract not being applied to our local and our members. And the reasons for that is what I just said. We need to do them in order. We need to persist that our business agents get these grievances filed and paid. And if they don't, then push them all the way up the ladder and take them to panel like I did. And eventually they'll get sick of seeing cases at panel. And if they don't, then they'll just pay them at panel. So But either way, they'll get paid instead of waiting. The grievance I got paid for today, right, was filed in March of 2025. It is May of 2026. Problem. It's a problem. And I don't care. I was out for a few months. I can come in and hear grievances when I'm on workers' comp. I can still walk. I don't care that UPS's labor manager, they lost a labor manager and they had to bring someone in that for 3 months. It's not my problem. It's a UPS problem and it's a union problem. We need to fix it. Otherwise it went really well. I get along with the guys now. I know I ran against them. I don't want to go on and on, but I just have my grievances for the union as well, and that's one of them. So let's work on that. All right. That's what I want to do. I want to see members in Local 384 getting the appropriate quad time that they deserve, because the union's not stopping the workload that they're giving us. And you should go out and not work off the clock, take your break, do the right thing, document your days, dot your I's, cross your T's, and then when that quad time comes, then they should be paying that quad time. Otherwise, it was a good day. Just go down there. I see my friend Angie. She's a TDU member. She's down there every panel, fighting a good fight. Appreciate Angie. I know a lot of guys, they look at us down there, these fucking guys, Come on, man. We got, our leaders are elected. They get paid really well, right? Really well. And we should work together to make the lives of members of Local 384 better. That's all.